Hi to everybody, and welcome to the presentation of the World Bachelor in Business. My name is Amelia Compagni, and I'm the Academic Director of the World Bachelor in Business here at Bocconi University. So I will illustrate to you the program, this bachelor program, and of course you can find and complement the information that I will provide you with all that you can find on our website, and of course we will then interact together through the question time. So the World Bachelor in Business is a very special program, not only for Bocconi, but also at the global, at the international level. And the reasons are several, and I will sort of illustrate them to you. First of all, the World Bachelor in Business is a 4-year bachelor program. Unlike all the other bachelor programs that Bocconi is offering, but also at the European level. So this is a 4-year program that entails the fact that students will be spending these 4 years starting from Los Angeles, so starting from USC, the University of Southern California, then moving to Hong Kong, so the Hong Kong Science and Technology University, and then coming to Bocconi, to Milan, in their 3rd year. The 4th year is based on the choice of the students, so it can be spent in any of the 3 partner universities. It is also very special because this is not an exchange program through which, students move or maybe spend some time in another university. But these are really, this is really a program that provides, that awards at the end of the 4 years, 3 different degrees in business awarded by the 3 partner universities that are exactly USC, HKUST, and of course Bocconi. So this is in itself a very special and unique program, exactly because in the end you will have 3 degrees. It is also special or different from other bachelor programs because it's normally sort of interesting for and appealing to students who would like to join the job market immediately after their bachelor in business. So normally we have students that come to the WBB who are interested in then going and working directly into organization firms, consulting companies, investment banking, and so on after their bachelor experience. And this is unlike most of the other bachelor in Europe and at Bocconi, where normally students come to then continue with an MSc, and we, sort of going through the more traditional sort of education program and education path that students in Europe normally follow. So in these in these 3 characteristics, you can see that the WBB is already, as I said, a very innovative endeavor and an innovative experience, that is characterized, as I said, by these 3 characteristics. The other thing that is very important is that the World Bachelor in Business is, of course, characterized by a multidisciplinary nature. So for which, of course, being in business, the bachelor implies following and attending courses in management, core courses in management, but is then complemented by topics and courses that are in a variety of other disciplines that are all complementary to create, to in a way educate, I would say, a person who wants to join the global business endeavor. So these are topics like, or courses like in economics. There are courses, of course, in legal topics. There are courses in history, in public government relations. So they are really sort of providing a 360 degrees education around management and management studies or business studies. It is also characterized by the fact that we care a lot about providing strong analytical and quantitative tools or instruments to our students, for which they are able actually to navigate the world both of business, of data analytics, of finance, that are all requiring, of course, the capacity to use these quantitative methods. It is also, of course, very careful and sensitive, the WBB, to the cultural differences that we have across the three universities and the three countries or continents in which, you know, the students are studying. And therefore, we pay particular attention to both languages. So to be sure that our students are acquiring also some language skills that are important actually to navigate culturally different or language different countries and markets. But also we are careful about the fact that there are cultural differences in the way business is conducted in these three continents. As such, we have also topics or courses that are really about making students familiar with what it means to be doing or conducting business in the US, in Europe, or in Asia. So here you see the study plan of the WBB, sort of segmented or organized according to the years. So the first year in Los Angeles as USC, you see that we have a combination of fundamentals in management, together with more sort of economic type of topics. So we have microeconomics, for instance, and as you can see already there are two labels that are very interesting that I would like to spend a little bit of time on, that are the WBB Freshman Academy and the Global Social Impact. So the WBB Freshman Academy is exactly the type of course, the type of experience that speaks to what I was saying before, so that we are particularly attentive to the cultural embeddedness of business in the different continents. So the WBB Freshman Academy is there to actually expose from the very beginning, and you can see this is the first semester, all the students to what it means to be conducting business in the US market. So the Freshman Academy is exposing students to a series of different experts in the consulting world, in the finance world, in the business world, for which, you know, students can start already thinking if this is what they want to do in their future. And then there is the global social impact. The global social impact is instead speaking to the fact that the WBB is a lot beyond the class. So what you're learning actually in class through, of course, courses. It is also a much broader type of experience, and the global social impact exactly is speaking to that. The Global Social Impact is an initiative at USC that brings the students in direct contact with realities in developing or transitioning countries. Normally, these are social enterprises or NGOs that are requiring the help, the support of young students, their fresh minds, in order to solve their issues. So this is really the first situation in which WBB students are exposed to the idea that they can consult or they can advise, they can use their competence in order to actually improve organization, and in this case, social enterprises that have an impact on society. Then, of course, students are moving to the second year and they're moving to Hong Kong to HKUST. And here again, you see courses that are very much in core business courses like organizational behavior or communication in business or accounting, but you see also macroeconomics, for instance, and again, in the same line as before, understanding business in Asia. So again, this is a course that is there to expose students to understand better what it means to be doing business in the Asian context. You don't see it here, but HKUST is particularly strong, of course, in enlarging or enriching the experience of WBB students while they're there by combining to classes other types of activities. You see already here Chinese communication, so the fact that we care about languages, so the need to be sort of this familiar or proficient with Chinese in order to be able to be a business person in Asia, but also other type of activities like, for instance, case competitions that are a different ways with respect to the global social impact, but they are still a way to exercise what you have been learning in class in order to apply to concrete cases that are, of course, firms, normally, or companies that have issues that need to be solved, and the students all over the world are there to actually try to solve these issues. Then the WB students are coming to Bocconi, so they're coming to Milan, so they're coming to Europe. And here we have another set of topics that are building on our talents and our strengths as a university. So you see that we have courses in law that are extremely important, as since business is a regulated sort of activity. So whatever law is telling us about what we can do in business, we need to learn it. So this is what they do here at Bocconi. There is, of course, a particular stress or emphasis on finance with 2 courses in finance. There is also an emphasis on the relationship or understanding the relationship between business and government and the public sector through 2 courses that are, one, European economic policies, that are exposing students to what it means to be doing business in the context of the European Union, and of course, public management or business government relations that are, again, there is again another course that expose students to understand the relationship between these 2 worlds. That, of course, as we have understood very clearly, need to work in harmony and need to work together in order to create value for society. As you can see here, we have, again, as you have seen at USC, at HKUST, doing business in Europe. So a course that exposes students to understand what it means to be doing business in the context of the European, in European countries. And then a foreign language that is normally Italian for non-Italian native speakers, for non-Italians. And then it is can be other languages, German, Spanish, or French for all the others. Finally, as I said, we have the 4th year in which the students decide where they want to spend this 4th year. And here we have decided to come up with a common set of courses that we are all, of course, sort of offering to the students. A lot about sustainability, a lot about, of course, business ethics that are fundamental aspects of being a business person nowadays. But then, of course, we also have electives. So the possibility for students to choose different electives and to carve their path in different directions according normally to what they want to do next. And as I said, most WB students tend to go and work and join the job market. So this means that, of course, the electives are very often the tools that they're using together with internships to sort of direct themselves in a certain to a certain field with respect to another, like finance or management consulting and so on. So as you have understood, the WBB is not only about courses, but is also about a series, is a very important experience, life experience. You have seen that, already USC and HKUST have been organizing and structuring inside their curriculum some extracurricular activities, like the global social impact is one, case competition and participating to case competition is another one. And then, of course, this is also happening at Bocconi. So at Bocconi, we are working a lot in trying to support the students in their choice for the next steps already, normally, as I said, in the job market. So we work a lot with them in order to provide them with a series of opportunities to be in touch and to be working together with the companies so that they can understand if this is the work they would like to do. So carrying out projects together. We have also a lot of recruiting activities that allow students to, for instance, undergo an interview, present their CVs, do maybe internships, or even having a job together with these companies. We have also in-company trainings, so all activities that allow at this point not only to apply abstract concepts, but actually to really be in contact with these companies and in a way attempting to sort of figure out for themselves if this is really what they want to do. So the beauty and probably the benefits of being in a sort of in a program that awards you with 3 degrees is that that of course you will be able to tap into the resources of 3 universities. So you of course will be part in the end of the alumni body of 3 prestigious universities, but also that you will be able to tap and so to use the sort of career service and all the other services that each of these universities is actually offering to their students. So you see here that we have some data about the sort of, we can call it the rate of success of the WBB students in entering then the job market after finishing with the WBB. As you can see here, we have for sure a high rate of success of the students in not only, of course, having interviews for job offers, but also to land with the job offers. So roughly we have on average 6 interviews, job interviews that they're able to sort of obtain. And out of these 6, 2.3 on average are the number of job offers that they actually receive. This means this is very comparable to also what we see, for instance, in MSc students. This is really sort of a great achievement for the students that are able already after their bachelor to actually land a job and being introduced in the job market. You see underneath in this slide also where they end up working, in what type of sectors and in what type of functions. So you see, for instance, that consulting is, sort of a sector that they like, that is very appealing to them, banking and finance, but also IT, of course, in managerial positions. There is aerospace industry. Some of them are also entrepreneurs, so they end up creating their own startup that are actually doing very well. And as you can see in the functional areas, we're talking about strategies, we're all talking about financial intermediation, IT, marketing, research. So that we have a different accounting, so there are different functions that they cover, of course, always at the managerial level. Here you have sort of all together some just of the names of the companies and the institutions that have welcomed the WB students for a job. So you see the names, I'm sure you can recognize most of them, but you see the name of the most important or the top consulting companies like McKinsey, BCG, we have PricewaterhouseCoopers and so on. We, EY, then we have investment banks, as you can see here, Goldman Sachs, for instance, Deutsche Bank, UBS, and so on. We have also a variety of other type of companies, for instance, in the IT, in the digital space, like Google or Amazon or Microsoft, ATT in the communication and IT space. And you see also other sectors. And progressively over the years, I have to admit that the WBB students have moved to sort of scout for opportunities in a variety of sectors, and they are more and more interested in enlarging, in diversifying the sectors in which they end up working. In this slide, you see also where they actually work, where they come from, and where they end up working. And what is important to me to give you as a message is the fact that, the WB students are not afraid of the world in a way. They are not scared at all of moving around. So even if they come, for instance, from Europe, they might be sort of working in the end in the United States, in the Middle East, or for instance, in Asia. Um, so this means in a way that they are not afraid of sort of looking for opportunities all over the world, and probably that the WBB has been able to give them enough confidence, not only because of the content, but also because of the posture, the attitude that they have towards the world of business in the different continents. They give them enough confidence to be actually attempting to find position and actually succeeding in finding position in these different countries or parts of the world. So for what concerns admissions, the WBB is for sure a rather selective program. We tend to have on board every year 45 to 50 students, so it's a rather small class that is moving all together all the time from one place to another, from one university to another. So it becomes, as you can imagine, a sort of a family. So they're very close and close-knit, exactly because they go through this experience all together as a cohort. We are, of course, selecting students together. So the three universities have a committee, a joint committee that, of course, evaluates all the applications across, of course, the different continents, and is then coming up with these 45, as I said, 50 students that are going to compose the class of that year. We are looking for people that are sort of well-rounded. So students that are well-rounded already, even if they are very young, of course, they're well-rounded in a sense that they are passionate, of course, for business. And so that's what they are interested in, but also well-rounded as in well-balanced. Clearly, the WBB is a tough program that entails, as you have seen, moving, from one year to another to different countries and to different universities and to different education systems. So it requires adaptability, flexibility. It requires also the capacity to be very independent. And so, of course, this means that we need to find people that are not only bright, so academically bright students, but also that are sort of capable of sort of overcoming also some of the difficulties of, moving from one place to another. You can see on the side in this box the admission requirements. So clearly, as I said, it's very important. Of course, we're looking at the academic performance of the students. This means that we're looking, of course, at how sort of the students has performed during high school. So we're looking at the grades and the transcripts of the different subjects, of course, in high school. We are also looking in general at, especially for IB, their sort of expected IB grade to try to understand essentially what is the level somehow that they are going to reach at the end of their path in their IB. Then, of course, we have also other ways of assessing, in a way, the academic performance always of the student. One is, of course, to have scores from SATs or ACTs tests. This year, this has been made optional, so we have waived SATs and ACT scores because of the constraints due to COVID-19. And of course, this has meant that, we are going to look at all the rest of the characteristics of the features of the students beside, of course, the scores. So this year, the SAT and ACTs have become optional. Then, of course, we need to be sure that you know English at a level that is enough to be sort of be very fast in adjusting and sort of to different, as I said, education systems. We would like to know more about you through, for instance, your resume, your CV, and a personal essay that allows us to understand who you are, how you are facing problems, difficulties, failures, what you are passionate about, what you have tried to do on your own. And this is all, something that we can understand through your CVs and, of course, through motivation or personal essay. And then, of course, we have also the sort of the opinion of people who know you. So this could be counselors, so school counselor. They could be teacher. They could be also anybody. For instance, you have done an internship somewhere, and these people have got to know you for the way you are in an organization, maybe the way you conduct yourself in a workplace. So these people, if they write a letter for you, of course, they will tell us something more about who you are once you are also outside of a class or school. Finally, there is a video presentation. So there is an interactive sort of website that allows you, that will ask you questions. So it's a typical video interview in which you will be asked questions, and you will also be watching how you answer these questions and what you tell us even more about yourself through this means. All the applications from this year on are sort of vehicled through the Common App. That is a channel that in this way we share across the 3 partner universities. And therefore, there is just one channel through which you can apply. And this makes things probably easier and also more convenient for everybody. This year, the application was the 1st of December 2020. And normally the time, it will take us some months to be looking through all the applications and to decide together who we are offering a position to. And then normally there is a 1st of May. Every year there is a 1st of May deadline to be accepting the offer, and so to actually be starting in a way the whole path, starting, as I said, from USC, so from Los Angeles. Here you have some details about the tuition fees in the 3 universities. And sort of that you get an idea about also the sort of the commitment that this type of program requires from your families. We are trying to sort of help as much as possible students to access the WB program across the 3 universities by awarding merit scholarships. So roughly we have sort of 40% of our students, of our cohort, that are sort of that are granted a scholarship, a merit scholarship. Normally this is covering either 25 or 50% of the tuition fees. We have also awarded full sort of waivers of tuition fees in the last years. And this is a scholarship that is merit-based. So this means that there is no need from your side to apply for that scholarship, but that the joint committee, admission committee, will evaluate based on merit who we want essentially to award the scholarship to. We also are trying as much as possible to make the shift from one place to another, from one university to another, as smooth as possible. And of course, we provide as much support as possible to the students, because we all are aware that besides sort of being admitted, there are some, of course, issues in moving from one place to another and adapting to one place to the different places. So first of all, we are all 3 universities are offering some accommodation on campus in our residential facilities, so in our on-campus residence, so that in case students want to have this type of accommodation, they are of course very welcome to sort of take use of that. We are also offering a lot of support, meaning that each of us, each university, each partner university has a team that is dedicated to WB students. This is about, of course, us, me in Bocconi, but also my counterparts in the two other universities, and also some staff, some program managers that are, of course, helping us to sort of take care of all of the requests of the students, of their problems, of their issues in very different sort of aspects. And this is something very important because, as I said, although the class is normally very close-knit, there is still the need to accompany students as much as possible through this experience. Here you have an idea of the class profile. So we are aiming always that the three different continents are contributing equally to the course. So far, the WBB is not a very old program. But so far our experience has been more that we have roughly half of the class that is coming from North America, from the Americas, mainly from the United States and Canada, so from Northern America, but we are now having more and more application from Southern America, Central America, that is very precious to us, and we are very happy that this is happening. So probably WB is progressively known also in this part of the world, and so we are very happy that they are, we have more application also from this part of the Americas. We have then a third that is coming from Europe, from most of, a lot of the countries in Europe. We have also people, of course, coming from Asia, another third. And here we have represented, of course, Asian countries. We have Australia, we have sort of Singapore, the Taiwan, the Philippines, and so on. So we have really, and we had last year, I think, the first person who was admitted from Africa. So our intention is, of course, the one of keeping the WBB as diverse as possible, increasing as much as possible this diversity, at least for what concerns the countries of origin. And we think that this is a very precious asset for this program, exactly because it is preparing students to be sort of global managers or global business people. So they need to be exposed also during class to this diversity. So I would like now to thank you all for the attention. I put here in the slide, you can see our website, so where you can find this information and other information that might be very helpful for you to direct your choice. And I thank you very much for your attention.